I'm Susan Moran. I was a physical scientist and research hydrologist with the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and now I'm retired.
Were you interested in STEM as a young person? Were you involved in STEM clubs?
In high school, I really liked math. I grew up in LA. I went to a high school where the girls had their classes separately from the boys. And there was only one trigonometry class, and it was only for boys. So I had to petition my high school to actually get in the class. I was the only girl. I joined the math club, and again, I was the only girl. I thought that's kind of how it worked. So when I went to see the college counselor in high school, she asked me what was my favorite subject. I said math, and she said, oh, there are no jobs in math. She said, do you like children? I said, yeah, I like children. And she said, okay, well, maybe you should major in something where you get to work with children. And not knowing any better, that's what I did. It wasn't until my junior year in college that I realized that girls could be scientists. So I changed my major, took classes that I liked, and I graduated. And when I graduated, I wasn't really sure what to do, so I got a job at Grand Canyon National Park as a ranger. And that's where I figured out my vocation. There were scientists there studying plants and animals and geology, hydrology, and there was one group from Nevada. They were using satellite imagery to make a vegetation map of Grand Canyon, and I was hooked. I was very interested in using satellite imagery. I thought it could combine all the things I loved, math, computers, science, into one thing. So I went back and got my master's degree in a field studying remote sensing, which is the use of satellite imagery to better understand what's going on the ground.
What experiences best prepared you for this career?
I knew I wanted to work for the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and I was living in Phoenix. There were no jobs open in the research service, so I took other odd jobs and waited, and one did open up and I got the job, and I was able to work with one of the world-renowned scientists in my field in remote sensing. He talked me into getting my PhD, which I did, and that led me to a 30-year career with the Department of Agriculture.
Describe the most interesting aspect of your career.
The mix of field work and computer work that is part of doing USDA research. You're working with scientists all over the world who are doing the same thing. And so you get to know scientists in other countries and do experiments there.
What was your most notable contribution to your field of research?
The most notable contribution to research has been my students that are carrying on the work that I started. I had incredible students to work with. One is now a professor at the university. There are several that are working as research scientists in USDA. One is a lawyer working at NASA. I hope that I gave them some experiences and some skills that they needed to do what they're doing now. And I certainly know that they made my work much better.
What was your favorite memory of your career with the USDA?
The field experiments that we did. Scientists would gather together in the most unlikely of places, cotton fields in Maricopa. We went to White Sands Missile Range for experiments, grasslands in France, and we'd gather, make our measurements all together, and most of the time we'd be camping there in the evenings, and so we'd have nice experiences together, looking at the stars, having discussions about science. Another memory that's a little more solitary are eureka moments. Those are moments where suddenly you have a breakthrough. You're all by yourself, you're working at your computer, maybe everything suddenly becomes clear. And as high school students, you've probably had eureka moments where you're studying and you suddenly understand what it is your teacher was trying to teach you. And if you have those sorts of eureka moments, then a career in USDA doing agriculture research is probably a good one for you.
What advice would you offer to students as they consider their career options?
Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do something. Find yourself a mentor or a role model. Take opportunities to learn. If you see a USDA internship, apply for it. If there's some training, try to take it. Even if you can volunteer with USDA, that might be what helps you. You never know where you're going to find your dream job. There's time, take your time, find your passion. You do